welcome back, or welcome to my channel. My name is Sam. We all know where this is. Sam's Reading Corner. We talk about everything between books and cats. Same spiel every single time. Today we're gonna do something fun. It's gonna be a theme vlog, hopefully. I do always make these and then you guys never see them. I did get new glasses, I got a haircut. I've been really busy this September. I did just get back into town from Orlando. We went to Halloween Horror Nights. It was a lot of fun. But let's talk about today's vlog. Or this sort of vlogish thing. It's my first theme vlog. I figured why not now, especially for this reason. I have my Goodreads goal for 2024 is 75 books. I've just finished my 72nd book, which hopefully if I get around to a September wrap up, we will talk about that book because that book was a book. That's also another vlog I want to do. I did read it and didn't video it because I read it while I was at Halloween Horror Nights. That's neither here or there. But let's talk about this one. So I have 3 books left until I hit my Goodreads reading goal of 75 books. I'm behind on. I finished 2 books so far this month. I've been so busy. So what I want to do is pick the next 3 books and then vlog, obviously, tell you my thoughts, tell you my feelings, all the things. But when I finish them, not tell you my rating and not tell you which is 73, 74, and 75. And then at the very end, I will tell you all my ratings because hopefully we can get my Goodreads goal of the 75th book as a 5-star read because I haven't had a 5-star read since April. So we're gonna try for it as my 75th book of the year. So let's pick our 3 books and see what we get and then start the reading. So let's pick book number 1. And these are all on my September TBR, so hopefully we get something good. Book number 1 is Blood of Sands. I don't want to read this. This is an arc. I haven't been reading any of the arcs that I've been getting, so I do not want to read this. So we're taking it out of the choices, and we're not going to read it. I have been trying to read one of my arcs for 2 weeks now, and I'm 50% of the way through, and I don't want to read it anymore. So I need to be more selective about the arcs I'm reading. Okay, book number 1 officially is The September House by Carissa Orlando. How fitting. I do believe it's a haunted house of some sort. So the tagline is, a woman is determined to stay in her dream home even after it becomes a haunted nightmare in this compulsive, readable, twisty, and layered debut novel. That's all we're reading. I'm really excited. Her name is Margaret. We're following Margaret. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited. It's very fitting. It's September. It's called The September House. I'm excited. Pick number 2 is Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. This is Leandra, the TBR Zeros, one of her Patreon picks for September, October, I believe. Let me go get it and we can. Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. I love this cover. This is gonna be so much fun. This is a Hercule Poirot mystery. And it's very fitting because Agatha Christie is one of my all-time favorite mystery authors. So let's see what this is about. At a Halloween party, Joyce, a hostile 13-year-old, boasts that she once witnessed a murder. When no one believes her, she storms off home, but within hours, her body is found, still in the house, drowned in an apple bobbing tub. That night, Hercule Poirot is called in to find the evil presence. But first, he must establish whether he is looking for a murderer or a double murderer. Agatha Christie needed to create an exceptional detective to outthink every reader, and Hercule Poirot is the result. I'm very excited. It's short and sweet. I'm really excited. How fitting would this be if this was my 75th book of the year, my favorite author, and it was a 5-star? We're gonna find out in this. And pick number 3. Hope it's a good one. Wretched by Emily McIntyre. Let's go get it. It's a dark romance retelling of The Wizard of Oz. And I think that's all we're going to talk about for that one, because I'm really excited for that one. Wretched by Emily McIntyre. It is a dark romance. Check your trigger warnings. It is a retelling of The Wizard of Oz. I think it's a mafia romance, but let's see what this is. A woman can be great and terrible too. Yes, she can. Evelina Westerly has always been the bad guy, as the brains, brawn, and botanist behind her family's drug empire. Okay, so we're definitely getting into the mob. She's her father's ruthless secret weapon. After a one-night stand with a gorgeous man at a nightclub, she sated her urges and is back to her criminal ways. That is, until that same man shows up as the new Westerly lackey under a totally different name. But Nicholas Woodsworth's real secret is much more dangerous than an alias. He's an undercover DEA agent, crime, and a DEA agent. Oh my God. And he's hell-bent on destroying the drug trade that devastated his family. Evelina embodies everything he's against, and he's been sent here to be her downfall. Yet the more they learn about the darkness in each other's hearts, the more alike they seem. And when hatred turns into something more, Nicholas will have to decide whether he can love a wretched woman, even if it means bringing both of their lives to ruin. I am so excited for these 3 picks. We have a haunted house horror, we have a cozy whodunit mystery, and a dark romance. I'm excited that we have 3 different genres. As to which one I'm picking first, I'm not sure. Maybe Wretched, because I'm in a romance mood. I think we're gonna go with Wretched. Wretched is gonna be the first one we read. So I will come back and tell you my thoughts and feelings when I read this a little bit. But I'm really excited. This is one of my favorite tropes. DEA agent of some sort with crime, mafia of some sort as well. So, and The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorites. So, what if this is the 75th and a 5-star? Well, who knows? Only this vlog will tell. I will catch you in a little bit when I start reading this. Until then, bye guys, happy reading. Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you with a car update. I am halfway through Ratched by Emily McIntyre, I figured I kind of tell you what it's about. I know I read the synopsis, so we kind of know that it's like a Wizard of Oz reimagining following Evelina and Nicholas, who is a DEA agent. So it's like crime mafia with DEA agent romance, which is one of my favorite tropes ever. And I'm loving that. I'm having such a great time. And this is more Wicked, like a Wicked retelling than necessarily than Wizard of Oz. I mean, Dorothy is still in the picture, but Evelina is essentially the Wicked Witch of the West. And Dorothy may or may not be the villain of this story instead, because, you know, if you've read these Emily McIntyre stories, you know it's more the villain getting their happily ever after. So Evelina is the Wicked Witch of the West. We're following three sisters in this Irish mob family. Evelina is the youngest, Dorothy is the middle, and Nessa, who is not Galinda, but the one that in the Wizard of Oz story, when Dorothy came to Oz, her house fell on, I can't remember when. It's not the east, it wasn't the north, I don't know, but Nessa is the oldest, and she actually is murdered in the prologue of the story, and Evelina is grieving, and she thinks Dorothy had something to do with it, but can't prove it. And now it's like 7 years later, and Evelina is pretty much the brains to her father's Irish crime mob thing. She is the brains, which makes me feel like her father is Tin Man, because Tin Man has no brains. So she is the brains to the operation, and Nick, who is our DA agent, has no heart, so he's the Scarecrow. And I'm thinking one of the people that is in the mob is the lion who has no courage. I'm feeling like it's Ezekiel, who he has no courage. He doesn't want to end up like his father, who was also in the Irish mob but got murdered when he was in prison. So he has no courage. So that's who I'm feeling out for the characters. So essentially, Evelina is the brains to the operation, and they are making this really potent heroin called Flying Monkey, and it is being distributed, going around, and it's very potent. Actually, Evelina, this is not a spoiler, she is actually making it. So she is the supplier, and essentially Nick is going undercover into their operation as a jewel handler, because her father wants to get into the jewel business. But that's just how he gets into it. That has literally nothing. They're not doing anything with jewels. But essentially Nick's plot is to go undercover and figure out who the supplier is. And at first, the goal was for him to get close to Dorothy and get Dorothy to kind of flip and say all the things, but he's quickly realizing that I'm sorry, it's early in the morning for me. That might be better to get closer to Evelina than Dorothy. And Evelina and Nick, before he goes undercover, the night before he goes undercover, actually have a one-night stand in a club. And she, at the time, is on like a mission because someone is actually taking her heroin and mixing it with rat poisoning and then reselling it as theirs still, which is called Flying Monkeys, which is another nod to the story, to the original story. But it's killing a lot of people, and she, not that she wants it off the street, but she wants to try to figure out who is mixing her original stuff with rat poisoning. Again, I'm sorry. So she actually comes into Chicago at this club, and her and Nick meet, have a one instant attraction, and have a one-night stand in the bathroom in the club. This, please check your trigger warnings. It is dark. It is the spiciest one so far out of all three that I've read, out of Hooked, Scarred, and Wretched. But this is also so far my favorite out of the three that I've read. I'm just having a ball. I'm really enjoying it. I love the banter between Evelina and Nick Braden, because he's got a different name now. Sorry, oh my goodness, I am super tired. And it's Monday morning. Blah. But I'm having such a great time. I'm not gonna tell you my star rating when I finish. This is what we're doing, because we're trying to figure out if I can get a 5-star on my 75th book, which is my Goodreads goal for this year. So I'm going to come and update you when I get through all 3 books halfway, and then when I finish, we'll come up back and kind of talk and all the things. Well, you'll see how this goes. But I have plans for this, so I'm really enjoying this one. I'm not gonna say what number this is, if it's 73, 74, 75, but I am enjoying my time with this one. The federal agent and mafia is like is one of my favorites. So if you have any more recommendations for that kind of relationship, please drop them in the comments, because I love them. I've already read the Mind F series by, I don't remember the author's name. I loved that. That's my favorite series ever. I love that one. That was so good. So if you have any more recommendations for that, drop them in the comments. Dark romance, fantasy, anything like that. It doesn't matter what genre it is. I love that kind of relationship between the 2 main characters. So I'm gonna wrap this up here. I have to go to work. But I will catch you next time when I get halfway through the next book. So until then, happy reading, guys. Bye. Good morning, everyone. I have not talked to you guys in a couple weeks. I forgot to update this vlog, actually. I kept telling myself that I needed to do it and completely forgot. But I started and finished Agatha Christie's Halloween Party, and I meant to come update you guys when I was 50% of the way through this, but I love Agatha Christie novels. I think they're so much fun. And I was having such a good time with this that once I got to 50%, I just kept going. So this is the second book finished for this vlog. I'm trying to see if my 75th book of the year, which is my overall Goodreads reading goal for the year, is a 5-star read. We have finished 2 out of the 3 books. I am halfway through the 3rd book, which after this clip we're going to talk about that 3rd book because I'm halfway through it and I want to talk about that one as well. But I had such a good time with this. It was the perfect vibes to get into Halloween. It took place over Halloween. Well, not exactly on Halloween, but definitely in the month of October. It was at a Halloween party. There was a death of a child. Hercule Poirot came to investigate and solve the murder. And he did. And it was fun. It was a fun time. I'm not going to tell you my star rating or if this is what number book this is. We're just going to have to wait until my October wrap up. I'm doing a new kind of take on my October wrap up. So you'll see it at the beginning of November. But we'll see. I'm gonna wrap up. I only read 3 books in September, so it's gonna be like a September-October wrap up. You'll see that quite later. But I had such a good time with this. This is number 41 in the Hercule Poirot series. Of course, they're murder mysteries. You can read them out of order. I had no difficulty reading this being my first Hercule Poirot, actually. At least reading my first Hercule Poirot. I've seen some of the adaptations of some of his books, like Murder on the Oriental Express. I couldn't remember if that was one of his or not, but it is. That's the only one I've seen. But I've heard of a lot of these, so I probably will continue. I will, because Agatha Christie is one of my all-time favorite authors, so I definitely will be reading more of her canon. But I had a good time. These 3 books, so far these 2 books that we've picked to see have been working out great for me and has brought me out of my reading slump. I'm vlogging my way through October because I'm doing 3 readathons. That'll be another video. You know, you'll have to go check that one out. I don't know if this one or my first weekly vlog will go up first. We'll see. We'll see. We're not talking about that. I had a good time. So now that we're done talking about this, I didn't even really. Actually, I didn't really talk about it. So, there's this 13-year-old Joyce, and she is a child that cries wolf all the time, you know, tells these elaborate stories, and sometimes is like always lying, so no one believes her. And she's at this Halloween party, and Ariadne Oliver, which is a famous murder mystery writer in Agatha Christie's canon, is at this party as well, and Joyce is very excited to see her and wants to impress her, so she says, "Oh, I've seen a murder." And then by the end of the party, Joyce is drowned in the apple bin. The bombing for apple bin, and it goes on from there. There was an Opar girl that went missing, some forgery going on, and then that's a spoiler. So Arne Oliver, Mrs. Oliver, calls Hercule Poirot onto the case, and he comes and he sniffs it out. He talks to people. He figures out if Joyce was actually this child who cries wolf. Turns out she was. And turns out, of course, there was another murder that a child saw, but it was not Joyce. It was another child. And that child was in danger of being the next killed child. And Hercule Poirot made sure that child stayed safe in the end. And the culprit, came to justice. I don't want to spoil too much. I did enjoy it. There was more than just Joyce's murder going on. There was forgery going on. There was a lot going on. I enjoyed this so much. To be honest, the actual murderer of Joyce didn't see it was going to be that person. So I'm very, very happy with this ending. I don't have any complaints about this. I mean, it was written in the 60s, so some of the wording probably isn't the best. But I had a fun time. So that's all for this book. I am 56% of the way through The September House by Carissa Orlando, and I didn't know what to expect from this, but this is a fun time. So we are following Margaret and Hal. They've been married for a really long time. They're in their 50s. They have always wanted to own their house, but they never have until they find this old Victorian house on Hawthorne Street that is just the right price. And they buy it, even with the concerns, not listening to the concerns of the real estate agent, saying that there has been murders in this house and all the things. They don't care. They want the house. It's their dream house. They buy it. They're in it. This house is haunted. It's got ghosts. It's got some creepy ghosts, and the walls bleed. And they bleed, and birds suicide themselves onto the windows. Like, they're flying and they just into the windows and die. They're sacrificing themselves. It's a fun time. So every September, the walls start to bleed, screaming happens, the ghosts start to come out. There's Frederica, who is the housekeeper who got axed long time ago. She's the only nice, helpful ghost. I like her. She's probably my favorite character. Yeah, she's probably my favorite. I love her. But she's got some shenanigans in September. She's very helpful, but she also causes chaos, but not harmful chaos. She'll just move everything around and stack furniture and all the things, but she's very helpful in the end. And then there's Elias. He doesn't like his personal space being invaded, and if you invade his personal space, he tries to bite you. He's a ghost. Then there's Angelica. I'm not really sure what her deal is, but all the scenes of Angelica is just her pointing to the basement and saying he's down there. So there's something in the basement that's super scary, and we don't know what it is, but we know what ghost is down there. His name is Master Vale, and he may or may have not been really gross while he was alive. We haven't figured that out yet, but it's been 4 Septembers in this house, and Hal has finally had it, and he leaves one day and has not returned, and it's been a month, and Margaret and Hal's daughter Catherine has been trying to get a hold of him, and he hasn't been answering, and she's worried because he's been missing for a month. So she's actually never been to their house because of what happens in September, but she is on the case and comes in September, and Margaret is trying to make sure that Catherine is not super scared and just going above and beyond, making sure that Catherine doesn't find out what actually happens in the house. But yeah, it's a fun time. I'm probably gonna finish it within the next couple days so we can wrap this vlog up. But this is the last one I need to read, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a great time. So yeah, that's my little update for this vlog. I will catch you when I finish this, and then we can go over all the things. But until then, guys, happy reading. Bye. Hi guys. So this is the last update for this video. I finished The September House by Chris and Orlando last night, and oh my god, guys, I had so much fun. This was a great haunted house, little campy horror, getting into the spooky season. I definitely recommend this to start out for your spooky season. I also recommend this as someone who doesn't read a lot of horror, and this is a good entry level to horror. There is I do want to say this so that people kind of know. I'm not there's no content warnings listed in the book, and there's nothing explicit on scene like on pages, but there is talk about domestic violence and alcoholism. Margaret is the victim of domestic violence with Hal, and Hal is an alcoholic and all the things. And of course, there's a lot of talk about mental health in this book, and I did really like how the author really winded these big topics, these really hard to talk about topics like domestic violence, like alcoholism, like mental health. I really enjoyed how she woven in these topics into this story and how it was executed. I had a really good time with this, but I'm not telling you if it was my 75th book or not. You'll have to check out my October wrap-up for all that information. But I did have a good time. I'm also not telling you my rating for any of these 3 books. You'll have to wait until you'll have to go check out my October wrap-up when it comes out in November. But please put your guesses on which book was my 5-star, which one of these 3s you think I gave 5 stars to, and which one you think is the 75th book, and we will find out together. I mean, I already know which is my 75th book and which one out of any of these 3 that I gave 5 stars. I already know this information, but I want to keep this fun, and I want you guys to guess to see which one was my 75th book and if any of them were 5 stars. But so leave your the word is escaping me. Why can't I figure this word? Your choices on which one's my 75th book, which one's 5 stars, down below in the comments. And if you've read any of these 3 books that I've read, Wretched by Emily McIntyre, Halloween Party by Agatha Christie, and The September House by Chris Orlando, let's chat about all 3 down in the comments. I would love to know your opinions. Please If you had fun watching this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, guys, happy reading.